and we're ready to go. 10 laps or 20 minutes, whichever comes first. Felix Rosenqvist and Scott McLaughlin, they make up the front row, and we see green in the first non-points race in IndyCar since 2008, and there's a crash already. It's the Honkos-Hollinger Chevrolet, and they hit Rinus V.
Well, power involved there as well. Contact so early on the brakes into turn one as there's a battle up front now. Rosenqvist defending against McLaughlin outside of turn two. Wheel-to-wheel diff.
There may not be any points on the line, but these guys want the cash, and they are racing hard.
I love seeing that aggression out of Scott McLaughlin so early, trying to hold it on the outside of a corner. We've seen a lot of drivers make mistakes in.
Caution is out. Understandably so. Big collision going down into turn one that involved Romain Grosjean in his new ride at Honkos-Hollinger Racing, and he collided with Ed Carpenter Racing's Rinus VK. Both these cars have been fast throughout testing, especially VK, and that puts an end to their chances for the cash, the big money today. Here, what happened, Hinch?
Over before it started. You see Colton Herta a little bit out of line there at the back of the field. And again, the brake zones have been a big topic of conversation. A little bit of contact there with Colton. Scott Dixon. It was Scott Dixon that just misjudged the brake a little bit, got into the back of Grosjean. Colton Herta maybe even into the back of Dixon a little. And then as Grosjean shot across, hit Rinus VK, forced Will Power wide. Let's watch on board with Colton.
Green.
So Dixon in that orange and blue PNC Bank Honda, he tried to take evasive action and maybe just got caught out a little bit. Herta was hustling him from the inside. No points, no worries. They're still racing hard.
So now we're heading back green.
Ready to go. It has been a really promising weekend here in California for the Swedish driver Felix Rosenqvist, who leads in the Bon Jovi Radio Honda for Meyer Shank Racing. Then Scott McLaughlin, then Joseph Newgard, and then the Hy-Vee Honda of Christian Lundgaard and Scott Dixon. Back to racing.
And remember, Lundgaard did have a little bit of damage. He did have contact there. The left side pod a little bit crunched in, so let's see if the 45 is suffering any loss of pace as a result.
Just hearing from race control that Dixon in the PNC Bank Honda, that orange and blue car right there, penalized for avoidable contact, and he's got to drive through.
Yeah, pretty easy call there for race control. And you see Nolan Siegel, the rookie, in his first ever IndyCar start. He's competing full-time in Indy next this season, driving for Dale Coyne Racing here this weekend. He's only one spot away from transferring, Dale.
The problem for Power is, number one, he is almost out of time. You see him making a move right there around Stingray Robb, but they just told Power a moment ago. Remember, it's 10 laps or 20 minutes. They told Power probably only 5 more laps left in this race. It's going to be a race to the clock and not the lap. So Power maybe out of time to transfer into the final race.
Check this out, Will Power on the inside of Kyle Kirkwood. Nice move.
What a cool place to pass Kyle Kirkwood on the over-under. You see that damage flapping around, pushing him all the way to the wall there, but Will's got the inside line here into 15. Some great side-by-side racing. That was a definitive move from Will Power into 14 here.
Here's the switchback. Nice work between these two. Remember, Will Power on the comeback after being pushed wide at turn one. And so the countdown begins in heat one of the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. 4.5 minutes to go. And that sounds good for Felix Rosenqvist. This is a great scrap. And behind him, he's got Santino Ferrucci of AJ Foyt Racing. And then Will Power.
What a story that would be if young Nolan Siegel could keep Andretti Global from advancing in the first heat.
And the stretch to the line is here. Felix Rosenqvist wins heat one at the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. Scott McLaughlin goes through. There's a scrap on here. Unfortunately, it's not for that 6th and final position. That's going to go to Colton Herta. Herta from Andretti Global in the Gamebridge Honda will be the 6th and final driver to go through in that big dash for cash.
Up from P11, what a great result
Here are the race results of the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. Heat number 1, and these 6 drivers are going through for the big dash for cash. Ready to go for the second heat. Same rules apply. You've got to be in the top 6 if you want to go through to race for the money. And it is the champ, the 2-time and defending champ, Alex Palou, on the pole position. There's 2 green cars. Palou is number 10. Marcus Armstrong, his teammate, is car 11 on the left-hand side of our screen. Ready to go. Same rules apply. Green. 10 laps or 20 minutes. Palou gets a great start.
Great jump from him on the inside. Graham Rahal lining up third. You see the McLaren going on the inside of, I believe, Tom Blomqvist. A little bit of contact. Alex Rossi sideways. Trouble to get the power down out of 2, Diff.
Linus Lundqvist is that all blue car on the inside. Graham Rahal is on the outside of him in the white, blue and black car. And this is a great start for Rahal.
It is side by side with the McLarens through turn 3.
This is where it's getting interesting. The teammates are racing each other and trying to get ahead as well.
Whoa, tough to go around the long way. Alex Rossi on his teammate Callum Ilott, dropping the dirt. That's going to allow Pato O'Ward now in the number 5 car on the outside, the black and orange McLaren.
This makes it even more difficult when you've got to race this hard against teammates, and Pato O'Ward almost tags Alexander Rossi.
Such heads-up driving from Rossi there. He saw there was a car on the inside, left the room. But this is so tough. All 3 of these drivers right now, they're below the cut line, Diff. Ilott's in 7th, Rossi 8th, O'Ward, who we're right on board with, in 9th. These cars need to move up, not be racing each other.
And he's getting closer to being where he wants to be as we see a little pop out, a challenge for that 7th position, trying to get by Callum Ilott, and Alexander Rossi is going to get it done.
To get to this point, he's burning
there
some more now. Here we go.
Blomqvist he shows his shoulder going into the corner. They almost touch.
So he tried to put Rossi off his game there a little bit, and Rossi puts him off the track.
That was a little dirty at the exit, and here comes O'Ward.
I'd argue it was a bit dirty on the entry from Blomqvist, moving in reaction to Rossi's move, but now he's harsh under attack. 2 McLarens by, the 3rd one trying to make it stick.
If you don't make the top 6 in this, you have no chance for the big cash. O'Ward is under pressure here to make the magic happen.
And guys, have you noticed the big message, the shouting message that is being delivered to everybody else? Chip Ganassi Racing's Alex Palou and Marcus Armstrong have said, if you want that money, you're going to have to fight us, because look at how far they are out in front. That is a massive margin over the rest of the field. But it is, hello, Palou. Alex is going to easily win Heat 2.
Great job, man. Great job, everybody.
The race is on for that final position, because Pato O'Ward hasn't given up on catching his teammate, but he's only got 2 corners left to do anything about it. Alexander Rossi is going to get that 6th and final place. There he is in the Arrow McLaren
Good
Chevy.
job, Alex. Hustle back.
And he earned that. He had to fight for that.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.